Hello students, I am Dr. Sanjeev Monia. In last lecture, we discussed about the clipping of first unit. There we discussed different clipping algorithms, and as I told you earlier also that these clipping is also related with the topic that clipping of fourth unit. So this is the reason that I left this, and now we are doing this, and today we will study about the midpoint subdivision algorithm. This is also an important algorithm. So let's start midpoint subdivision algorithm. What happens in midpoint subdivision algorithm? That like the Sutherland line clipping algorithm, we have to find out the visible and invisible part of the line. As over there, we first calculate the region code of both the ends of the line, and based on the end operation we calculate the different possibilities, that is the line is completely visible, invisible or partially visible. Here we have to use the different technique, that is to find the midpoint of a line, and then we check the half lines, that the line is outside means that is invisible, visible or that is partially visible. After dividing the line in two parts, we again divide that line in two parts if that is not completely visible or partially visible. Again, we calculate the midpoint of that point line. Let me try to explain you. Suppose this is a line P1 and P2. Then first we will assign the region point of these two end points of a line, that is P1 and P2. Then by first we will check that this line is completely visible, invisible or partially visible. If this is partially visible, in that case we divide this line in the middle, and it's easy to find out the midpoint of this line, that is x1 by x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So this is the midpoint of this. Again we check the same condition, or we apply the same procedure for these lines, that is for line PM and P2, same for the line PM and P1, and we complete this procedure till we get a complete visible line. So it is used for clipping line. The line is divided into two parts, means we have to find out the midpoint of the line by dividing it into two equal parts. Again, division is done by finding midpoints, means again and again we have to find out the midpoint of the line if that is partially visible. This process is continued until line of visible and invisible category is obtained. So we can divide in this way in two parts, that is visible and invisible. So these two portions can be find out individually. Now let us try to understand the algorithm of this. In midpoint subdivision, there will be four things we have to be given. We have to be given the value of xl, that is the value of x coordinate, the value of x coordinate that is in the right hand side, the value of y coordinate that is below, and value of y coordinate that is above. Means the size of the window will be given to us, and you can see this from here that XL means left boundary of the x-axis. This is XR, right boundary of the x-axis. This is Y blue. Y below means below coordinate or below boundary of y-axis, and this is the Y top, that is top boundary or top edge of the window on y-axis, and the coordinate of the line that is p1, like over here, that is p1, and p2 coordinate of these two will also will be given to us. So for the input, the size of the window as well as the coordinate of both the endpoints of a line will be given to us. For example, the coordinate of P1 is x1, y1 and x2, y2. So first of all, we have to assign the codes to the endpoints of the line, that is P1 and P2, as we discuss, and we know that we have to assign a 4-bit code to each and every point of a line. Then we can assign a 4-bit code to this endpoint, that is P1. Same, we can assign a 4-bit region code to P2 also. Then we have to perform a OR operation. We have to perform a OR operation on both of the endpoints. And if the value of OR operation, that is if we get 0, 0, 0, for an example, the one point of this is the line is 0, 0, 0. These are the region codes. These are the region codes of the line. So one is 0, 0, 0, and the second endpoint is also, this is the second endpoint. The coordinates or the region code for this point is also 0, 0, 0. So from step 2, it is clear that when we are performing a OR operation between the bits of, between the same bits of these two endpoints, then it should be 0. And from here, you can find that when we are performing the OP operation between these, then the result is 0. And the result of OR operation is 0 when both of the points or both of the bits are 0. It means it's easy to calculate that the line or the given line is visible, is completely visible. So this, by performing a OR operation between the endpoints region of both the end of a line, we can find out the visibility. But if this is not the case, means if this is not completely visible, in that case, we have to perform the AND operation between these endpoints. And suppose the AND value of AND operation, as I calculate over here, the OR operation, if the value of AND operation is non-zero, is not equal to zero, then the line is completely invisible, means there is no need to do anything. We have to perform the calculations, or we have to apply midpoint subdivision algorithm when the line is partially visible. Partially visible. In that case, we have to find out the midpoint of line P1 and P2, and for an example, that is PM. The midpoint of this is PM. Then the same procedure we will apply for two lines now. That is, one line is PM P2 and second line is P1 M1. So on these two, we will apply the same procedure and repeat the procedure till we get complete visible and complete invisible lines. So we know that mid of the line we can find by getting P1 plus P2 divided by 2. It means we are getting from the coordinate by adding the x coordinate of both the line divided by 2, that is x1 plus x2. If one coordinate of the line is x1 x2 x1 x1 y1, sorry, and second is x2 y2. So in this way we can find out the mid of these two, that is x, that is xm, that is pxm, that is pmx is equals to pmx is equals to x1 plus x2. The x coordinate, the x value of both the point, that is x1 plus x2 divided by, this is, let me take the pen. Okay, this is x1. Why it is not writing? So this is x1 plus the second coordinate of the line of other end, that is x1. Why it is happening? It's not taking the, so this is x1. No, it is not working. Okay, this is x1. This is not working. Okay, left it. I will explain you without the pen. So this is PMX, the x coordinate value, the midpoint is x1 plus x2, x1 plus x2 divided by 2. And when we will find out the PMY coordinate value, then that is y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Then we get the value of P1 and PM. When we will same way, we have to find out the region coordinate of PM as we calculate the region calculate of P1 and P2. And then we will repeat the same algorithm for P1 and PM and PM and P2. From here, you can see that when we will perform the L row on P1 and PM, then the AND operation between region coordinate of these two endpoints will be non-zero. It means we can say that this is completely invisible. So next time there is no need to perform any operation on this line. So next time when we have to find out the midpoint, then the operation will have to be performed on P2 and PM. Means this line is invisible and there is no need to find out the midpoint of this line again. So we have to find out the midpoint of this, that is P2 PM. For an example, this is Pn. So Pnx will be P2x plus Pmx divided by 2, and Pny equals to P2y plus Pmy divided by 2. When we get the midpoint, then we can repeat the same process as we discussed in the L row. So by using this way, we can find out the visible and non-visible portion of a line. So this is the same that I told you over there, that we are going to check the values of the coordinate of the divided line and assigning them the region code as per our scheme. And in the last final step, that is step 7, we draw the P1 and P2 line that is a visible line. So this is the end of first unit. So we complete, in the last lecture we complete fourth unit, and now we complete the first unit also. In the next lecture we will discuss some important questions, those comes in university exam, and we will see the previous year's papers also. There we will discuss the important questions unit by unit. Thank you.